People come to work to be paid, and that's where HR comes in, making sure it all happens smoothly, correctly and compliantly. But that's not all human resources do. In the digital age, they now have huge amounts of data that can make a business more efficient, responsive and profitable, and make the employee experience more engaging and frictionless. Well, to talk about this, let's meet Andy Monshaw, Chief Executive of the global HR and payroll provider NGA Human Resources. I'm Sarah Lockett. Welcome to the Business Debate. Andy, thanks for joining us in the London Stock Exchange studios.
Very nice to be here, thank you.
So you're saying that HR is core to business success in the digital age. Well, how? Because surely they just make sure everyone gets paid, don't they?
Sure. HR makes sure everyone gets paid, but they do a lot more than that. They manage the cradle to grave of an employee, so they have lots and lots of information. And their job really is to ensure that we have the right people recruited, retained, motivated, and prepared for the best jobs, because in the end, a business is nothing more than the sum of its people.
And HR is moving to the cloud. One estimate says maybe 20 or 30% of companies have gone to the cloud. What are the advantages of that?
So the larger the company is, the greater you accrue advantages. Most companies that operate in multiple countries have a very disparate data set around their employees. So they're not able to take advantage of the best employees that are in a particular area, and they are not able to ensure that they're attracting and retaining those employees in each of those countries.
And millennials particularly expect HR to be as frictionless as maybe buying something on Amazon or using an app. And how are you trying to make it as easy for them as possible to, say, book annual leave or to claim their expenses?
Right. When you're trying to attract an employee, the first impression that that employee gets from your company is the interaction with HR. So it needs to be smooth, it needs to be slick, it needs to be current. During the life cycle of the employees, they, we believe, want to have a conversation with whoever the other areas they need to deal with, whether it's HR or even IT. This conversational experience is where the leading companies are moving to improve the employees' engagement in that company.
You wouldn't leave a company though, would you, because their HR was clunky?
So you may not leave, but you may not even come, because during that recruitment process, there's studies out there that say lots of employees, even after they get an acceptance, continue to interview because they're looking for the best experience that can lead to long-term, really engaged employment.
And we've now got next generation HR. So what are the HR bots doing?
So the HR bots are really about two sides. The first side is those people who deliver services need it to be fast. You don't want to wait, right, for an answer. You want that answer to happen now, and you want it to be right. On the flip side, employees want to be able to interact with companies in their form of communication. They want to text, they want to Skype, they want to go through Slack, they want a conversational way. Will they say, "Hey Alexa, how is this going to happen with my paycheck?" We're not sure, but we are working on that.
And compliance and legislation are the number one headache, aren't they, for HR professionals? How are cloud or truly digital systems helping with this?
Yeah, cloud systems allow for a unification of all the information. Today, companies, oftentimes, especially those that have grown through acquisition, have multiple siloed segments of information, oftentimes not compliant. The Global Data Protection Regulations, GDPR, is really forcing companies to focus on this because of the penalties, the regulatory requirements, and also brand damage.
And barriers to people adopting all this technology, because the way you say it, it sounds great.
So barriers are really start with, what do I have today? What I have found is that most companies do not have adequate control or an understanding of that information. So the first barrier to entry is really getting your arms around what you have today. Once they understand that, the economics of moving to the cloud are really obvious because it brings it all together, it unifies it, and it allows customers to take advantage of this information.
So it's a bit of an education process. Well, really interesting. Thank you, Andy, for coming in.
Thank you.
And join us next time when we'll be discussing the latest innovations in healthcare technology and the future of construction. For now, though, from me, Sarah Lockett, at the London Stock Exchange Studios, it's goodbye and thanks for watching.